Cash, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to read with people? Okay, we're gonna start, all right?
Hi, my name is Dell, and this is Cash, and we are volunteers with Fox Valley Therapy Dog Club. We normally come to elementary schools, high schools, healthcare facilities, anywhere we're needed, and we read or we hang out, or sometimes we do tricks with people. But since we can't come to you now, we decided we would just read from home. And hopefully you'll find this link and you'll get to read along with us and have a little bit of fun. So, I'm going to start with an oldie but a goodie. This is Harold and the Purple Crayon. Now I know what you're thinking. This is really old. However, Harold never goes out of style. Neither do purple crayons. You can still find them in the stores. This is a great book. This is what we're going to start with. We've got a bunch of other books that we can read, and well, I suppose if anybody has a suggestion and you want to tell us what book to read, we will read it. So, you ready, Cash? You look excited? You ready? Okay, let's read. Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight, and he needed something to walk on. You see, Cash? He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost, and he set up on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path, so he left the path for a short cut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the forest, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. Small forest, huh, Cash? It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. A lot of apples, a lot of apples. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. Woo! Did it scare you, Cash? Oh, nothing scares Cash. Big dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. It's very smart, right? Cash doesn't like the water. He would jump in the boat, wouldn't you? You don't like the water. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry, so he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. You like lunch, don't you? Yes, you do. There was nothing but pie. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. I can't name 9 kinds of pie I like. How many pies do you like? I like apple, I like cherry, I like lemon meringue, coconut cream, banana. I can only think of 5 kinds of pie I like. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. A lot of pie. You couldn't eat that much pie. Could you eat that much pie, Cash? So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Do you wish he'd left a dog in charge of the pie? I bet you do. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see, so he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. It's pretty smart, actually. Don't you think, Cash? He was tired, so he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. I can't even see you. You're laying down and you're relaxed, aren't you? But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Oh boy, it's a good thing he has that crayon still, right, Cash? But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He made a balloon, and he grabbed onto it. Pretty smart thinking. He made a basket under the big balloon, enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. It's probably pretty up high, do you think? So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think of where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Cash is falling asleep. We have to be quiet. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. It is a lot of windows. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then, suddenly, Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. Best book ever, I'm telling you. We almost lost Cash. Cash was almost fast asleep too, right? I'm glad that you stayed up so you could say goodbye to everyone. That's our first story, Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. We highly recommend it. If you have ideas again, you can let us know. And our next story, I don't know what it will be. We'll see what Cash picks for our next story. But thanks for reading along with us today.